Hello again and welcome to another episode of Mindfulness, Week 40, Cultivate Humility. And the quote for the week, if you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know what you are, by Mother Teresa. Humility is often an underrated quality. Certainly in Western culture, and particularly in today's political climate, humility might be viewed as a sign of weakness. However, many spiritual traditions, like Buddhism, view the cultivation of humility as a necessary step on the path toward enlightenment. In fact, humility, gratitude, and mindfulness are intrinsically intertwined. The word humility comes from the Latin word humilis, which means grounded. When you are humble, you don't need to show off, act defensive, or toot your own horn. You have a sense of confidence, neutrality. You have a sense of confident neutrality about who you are as compared to others. You view your own strengths and weaknesses accurately and recognize that everyone has intrinsic value, even those who appear beneath you in some way. Day 1 journal prompt. Today, I contemplate my strengths and weaknesses and view them in a way a loving friend would describe me, with honesty and clarity, unfiltered by ego or defensiveness. These are my strengths and weaknesses. Day 2 journal prompt. Today, I remember people who have helped me develop my strengths and those who have supported me in areas where I'm weaker. I focus on gratitude for these people. These are the people and how they have supported me. Day 3 journal prompt. Today I reflect on how I have fallen short of my own expectations or the expectations of others. How have these experiences humbled me and made me more grounded? Day 4 journal prompt. Today I consider people around me who might be younger, less experienced, less driven, less successful, or less knowledgeable than me. What can I learn from them? Day 5 journal prompt. Today, I notice any feelings of judgment, defensiveness, insecurity, or pride I am holding on to. How can humility help me resolve or dissolve these feelings? Day 6 journal prompt. Today, I focus on praising others for their skills and accomplishments. Wherever I go, I look for ways to offer praise. This is what I noticed and how it made me feel. Day 7 journal prompt. Today, I focus on serving others, my family, a friend, a coworker, without expectation of the reward or return favor. This is how I served and what I experienced. And the Bible verses for this week. In Micah 6:8, he has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. God doesn't demand perfection or greatness. He asks us to walk humbly with him, grounded in justice and compassion. Humility is not a sign of weakness, but of alignment with divine truth and moral strength. And the reflective question for this verse, how am I walking with God today, with humility or with pride? And the spiritual insight for this verse, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. It's walking beside God, not ahead of him. When you surrendered the need to prove your worth, you find it already affirmed in your quiet obedience. In Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Paul urges believers to root out ego-driven behavior and adopt a heart posture of humility by valuing others and serving beyond self-interest. This kind of selfless love builds community and mirrors Christ's attitude. And the reflective question for this verse, where am I being called to elevate others without needing credit or recognition? And the spiritual insight for this verse, when you genuinely see others through a lens of compassion and not comparison, humility becomes second nature. It becomes easier to give praise freely, to serve quietly, and to live in peaceful confidence. And in James chapter 4, verse 6, but he gives all the more grace. Therefore, it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humility opens the door to divine grace. Where pride builds barriers, humility builds bridges to others, to truth, to God's heart. The humble receive more because they are open to more. What part of my life needs more grace, and how can I approach it with greater humility? Spiritual insight for this verse. Humility is magnetic to God's grace. It doesn't mean shrinking, it means opening. You become a vessel capable of receiving because you're no longer full of yourself. In conclusion, the strength in being grounded. Humility is not submission, shame, or low self-worth. It's clarity. It is seeing yourself and others truthfully through the eyes of grace. The humble are not lesser, they are freer. They no longer carry the burden of proving or posturing. This week, through mindfulness, reflection, and intentional service, you are invited to release ego and embrace grounded strength. The Latin root humilis reminds us the most fruitful things grow low on the ground. May your heart remain rooted and your spirit uplifted. Thanks for listening until the end. I'd love to know what you thought about the video layout this week. Drop a line below. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out my website, where you can book a one-on-one discovery call to uncover insights on how you can better apply these and other practices in your daily life with ease. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your presence here is greatly appreciated, as your engagement on this channel helps others to find its content for their own benefit, all part of the collective healing efforts across the globe. Namaste, namasko.